Hi, welcome to the Peaceful Home. So glad you joined me today. I'm going to decorate my table for Easter absolutely free. I'm going to show you how to make arrangements like these that are really simple. So come along with me as I roam the property and forage for some moss and grass and flowers that can be used to decorate my table. There is still a little nip in the air and it's a bit cloudy today. But there is blue sky trying to peep out there. The birds are going crazy. They're ready for spring. I didn't bring my tripod out, so I'll just have to kind of film the after. I just used the shovel to do a really horizontal, shallow cut and grab whatever plants I'm trying to getting some of the root system. I'm back from my little walk and I'm so glad that you're here today. If you're new, my name is Teresa Elling and I'm excited to bring this video to you to give you some inspiration and ideas for your Easter table. This project is not going to cost me anything at all. I'm using things from my home, dishes from my kitchen, plants from my property. I really like low bowls like these. These are great for the moss mounds and for low grasses. I went over to my table and I looked at the things I had. I have tons of linens, but I decided not to do a tablecloth. I'm kind of playing with the idea of using a white runner and maybe the burlap runner together, but I kind of play with everything empty first to start. I think this is what I want to do, the arrangement with the glasses that I'll use as vases, and then some potted grasses and mosses on the sides. Some other options would be to use a pedestal for a little bit of height and put some of your bowls on there. You also could use a dough bowl. Those are nice and low. I have one that's similar to a dough bowl. You could also use something like a low basket or tray that either you're going to use with dishes inside, or you could even line it with plastic, put some soil in, and do your own planting. There are really endless options here. Anything you can dream up, you can do. Any of the materials that you have around your home. If you don't have much in your own yard, go find a field. Go drive up just outside of town, just a little bit into the country, and see what you can find. I also suggest that you do not do this on the day that you need your arrangements. Yesterday I went out and I got some of this. I was telling you I thought it was miner's lettuce, but it does not do well overnight. It looks terrible. So there are some wild plants that do not want to be in captivity and they will rebel and die on you. So avoid those. Make sure that you plan enough in advance so that you can try these out and see what is going to wilt and die and what is going to thrive and still look good whenever you have your meal or your event. I'm going to put some newspaper down and then I'm just going to get started filling bowls and seeing what I come up with. Now a lot of these I scooped up, and when you grab a bunch of dirt, often there can be 3 or 4 different plants in here. You can actually use this just as is, or you can remove any of the plants that you don't want in this grouping. was going to pull this out, but I actually really like how it looks and the height it brings. I think I'm just going to, this whole little clump. Just put right in here, add a little bit of additional soil, and make sure to keep it moist. I just break off the pieces that I don't think will fit. I'm gonna put a little soil on the bottom so it mounds a little better. When you're foraging, don't forget that mosses like this do best in the shade, and so you will often find them on the north side of a tree, a rock, north side of a hill. It's really amazing if you look up close to see all the different little kinds of life that is in this. Oh, and there goes a spider. He'll probably bring in some bugs too. A great way to keep ferns and mosses at their best is to mist them with water. Just a light misting. This is one of my favorites. I don't know what kind of grass this is, but it was growing kind of down the hill from our barn, and it's really easy to work with. This and the mosses are just so easy. Put them in a teacup. That would look really cute. I ended up doing the ball jars more like terrariums rather than with water and cut flowers. And we'll see if these do better now that they're in their soil. I pulled them up with their root system. On a couple of these, I'm going to try also just pushing down some moss into the sides. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. I'm just gonna clean these up, make sure to wipe the outsides, and then I'll go put them on the table. I rolled up all the scraps in the newspaper, and they'll go straight into the compost pile, and just wipe down the island here, and really very minimal mess. I'm going to be setting my table with these plates, Wedgwood from England, and these belong to my grandmother, possibly my great-grandmother. I need to find out. But each one is a snowy scene in blue and white, and they're all different, and I just think they're so beautiful. I love this kind of ruffled edge here, and of course the color. And the snow might not seem very much like spring, but I know lots of places still have snow, and this is what I wanted to use, so I'm going to. I'm also going to use cloth napkins. Not only are they good for the environment, they're beautiful, and I use cloth napkins quite often. As long as you have a good stain remover for, say, chocolate or lipstick, you're fine. I also usually thrift these, so they're not that precious. They're meant to be used and enjoyed, not stashed away and protected. I also have napkins like these, and this would have been a fine choice as well. Really, anything that you have will work. Even paper napkins will be just fine. So I'm gonna run over and set the table real quick. The proper way to set a table is knife with the blade facing in towards the plate, spoon outside of that, fork on the left, and you kind of line them all up together, if you can, on the bottom. Napkin can go under the fork. It can go a long ways on the plate. I didn't want to cover up all of the blue, so I folded it one more time and just put it down in the corner like this. And there you go. I taught my kids how to set the table by using paper placemats that you can pick up at a party store or the 99-cent store. And we would have them trace the fork and knife and spoon in the correct places, and then they would set the table. And it's almost a lost art because people don't know how to set a table anymore. Obviously, this is as simple as you can get. There's no salad fork, there's no soup spoon, there's no fish spoon or shrimp fork, but this is just a very basic table setting. This really is very simple, and you can absolutely use what you have at home. Go up and dig up some plants, put them in bowls. They just look so beautiful, so spring-like, and reminding us of new life and of course resurrected life. I just did the plants, but of course you could add to this. You could bring color in through a table runner or tablecloth or your napkins. If you have a collection of bunnies, you could distribute them throughout the table, or birds' nests or eggs. There's endless possibilities, but please don't feel like you have to go and spend money to set a beautiful table. The most important thing should be gathering to remember Resurrection Day and what Jesus did for us, and to be able to spend that time with family and friends, enjoying a good meal and great fellowship. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed Easter. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Peaceful Home.